Welcome back guys, Zenith Tech here. Today I'm going to be doing a review of the Zeera 5-in-1 charger. This is called their VOXN. This is a cool little 5-in-1 charging station, as I would call it. And you have the ability to charge 3 devices, an additional device on the back through actual cable, and then you have 2 light strips on the back that also add some ambient light to it. So let's get into the details. So you have the 2 MagSafe chargers that are not officially MagSafe, but they are MagSafe compatible, meaning that they don't charge the full 15 watts. They do give you, however, the charging animation when you place a device on top. And then you also have the ability to charge your Apple Watch. The other cool thing about this charger is that it's 2 MagSafe chargers. So usually when you have like a combo charger like this, you have like one MagSafe charger on the phone portion, for example, the stand, and then you have an AirPods wireless Qi charger for AirPods or anything else. However, usually they have like an indentation of some sort so that you could place your AirPods perfectly on that Qi charger, and you can't really place a phone unless like you maneuver it just good enough for it to charge. But in this case, you have a magnetic wireless charger, and you can place any device that has Qi wireless charging. So even like the new Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, you can place it on top and it will still charge. Yes, it won't magnetically charge, but it will charge. And then you can place your AirPods 2nd generation if you have the Pros, and it has MagSafe, so they will magnetically attach. So you're getting all these features since it's having the magnets on the actual chargers, but it's not officially MagSafe licensed. So that's the only downside to the charger. However, it's pretty cool that you have the ability to use both of these chargers at the same time, the Apple Watch charger, and then you also have the ability to plug in an additional device on the back. So the back portion has a USB-A plug, which you can plug in a device of your choice, for example, an Android phone, or let's say you want to plug in another iPhone that you have, around the house. Well, you can do that all with this charging station. There is a USB-C port on the back as well, but that's the one that supplies the main power to the entire charging base. So you can't really use that for anything else. Then you might be wondering, what is the orange little button on the front? So previously Zeera had a charging station as well, but it had a capacitive button on the top that wasn't really easy to use. So now with this more luxurious line of theirs, you have the ability to press this button, which has a physical click to it, and it's rubberized. So let's say you use this on your nightstand at night and it's dark, you can put your finger on the button and you know exactly where the button is. And the button pretty much allows you to do 2 things. You have the ability to change the 3 steps of brightness on the light strips, which are on the back of each of the stems. Then you have the ability to turn off the entire wireless charger all the way if you press and hold the orange button. So that cuts off the power to the charging station, even though the charging station is still plugged into the wall and getting power. So that's really cool because think about it. You can turn off the power, for example, if someone places something metal on top. Yes, it has technology to recognize that it's metallic and it will shut off the charger temporarily, but this is even cooler because no one's really messing with your charger. I wouldn't really know a use case where I would want to turn off the charger and I can't just unplug the USB-C cable, but it's a cool thing to have to not, power up the charging station all the time, and you can just unplug it, but not the actual cable, but through the actual button, which it's pretty cool to have. Now let's get started also on the front part of the charging station. So that part has 3 LEDs. Yes, it corresponds to each of the chargers, meaning the MagSafe floating charger, the Apple Watch charger, and then you also have the ability to see the light for the flat MagSafe charger. So with all of that, you can control the brightness of those LEDs as well. So what they did is they have a button on the bottom of the base, which slides and kind of looks like the iPhone little green toggle within settings, but you slide that rotator, and what it does is it puts a physical shutter in front of the LEDs to dim them or completely turn them off. So what I'm thinking is happening, it's not really turning the lights off, it's just putting something plastic in front of them so you don't see them. And this is pretty cool because other chargers that are, used on your nightstand, they might have some type of glowing light that bothers you at night, especially if you're those type of people that turns around and you can notice it. So it's kind of not convenient having those lights on the front. However, now that you have this physical shutter, you can shut them off and you won't have to worry about it. The other cool thing that I like about this charger is that the base has a bit of weight to it. So even though it's made out of plastic, it doesn't really, feel plasticky to the point of where I'm just picking up something very light. The charging station sits great on the desk, and when you take your phone off that has MagSafe, for example, on the floating side, you have no issues with the entire base lifting up, which is something that I really look forward to and charging stations that I use, because I don't really want to move the charging station every single time that, I want to lift my phone up. The other thing I wanted to mention is the light strips on the back. So I mentioned earlier that they have 3 stages of brightness, but the cool thing about those is that you're adding some ambient lighting behind your charging station, whether it be at a desk or whether it be on your nightstand. So it's kind of cool that you can dim the brightness. Let's say you want a small light that's on all the time. Maybe you like that kind of stuff. So if you want that light on there, you have that ability. And it's 2 light strips that are really small that are on both of the stems, which pretty much allows you to get that soft glowing yellowish hue of ambient lighting, which I think is a really neat feature, to be honest. I mean, the entire charger is made very well. The top portion of it has this kind of like leatherette material, which could be used, for example, to place AirPods to the side if they're not actively charging, or you have some type of rings that you take off right before bed. You could place them on that leatherette material and not really worry about them scratching or placing them like on a plastic charger. So it's kind of cool that they included that leatherette material, and to be honest, it makes the device look more premium as well, which is I think one of the benefits of the entire look and design of this charger. But like I mentioned, you don't have the licensed charging for MagSafe. However, you do have the 15 watts on those chargers. So pretty much what happens is if you have an Android phone like the new Galaxy S24 Ultra or any other Android phone that supports 15 watts, then you can place on the flat MagSafe charger the phone and you will get the full 15 watts. So you get fast wireless charging, and it'll probably show it on the bottom of the device once you look at the screen. However, you don't get that on the iPhone, so you'll be limited to the max charging speeds, which is kind of a bummer. You get the animation, you think it's MagSafe, but it's not really 100% MagSafe, which I wish it would be, but of course they would have to license that technology and use the actual MagSafe charger. The other cool part about it is that you have this standing Apple Watch charger. So with it being standing, I like it a lot more than having the Apple Watch chargers on bases that are more in a horizontal orientation, because that way, if you have like a bigger watch like the Apple Watch Ultra, then you have problems with it fitting exactly on the charging station. So basically, when you have this floating one, it doesn't matter what band you have or what size Apple Watch you have. They're all going to work on the charging station, whether it be the smaller version, the bigger version, or Ultra. However, the Ultra, for example, for my watch, I have an issue where it kind of rotates on the actual charging puck because of the weight of it. But that's not a problem. I mean, it's still charging, and that gives you the ability to charge all your devices at the same time, so that, for example, in the morning, you have a fully charged set of devices. Yes, you can use this at the desk, for example, in the office. However, I don't really take off my watch at the office, so I don't really need a charger for my Apple Watch while I'm there. But it's cool to have, and I see more of a use case for having this on a nightstand, for example, which would pretty much give you access to all of your devices when you're sleeping, and they'll be all charged. The other cool thing I wanted to mention is the new feature within iOS that pretty much gives you the calendar view, clock view when the phone is in horizontal orientation, which is pretty cool that it supports it on this charging station, is because you have that floating magnetic charger and allows you to place the iPhone vertically. So then you can look at photos, you can change different time zones, you could look at that, or you could look at, for example, your calendar, which it's pretty cool to have all of these features. And I think that, it's a good charger. It has everything that you may need, and the price point, it's usually around $75 at this time of recording. That's how much it is. But it comes with one USB-C cable, and that USB-C cable is braided, and it's a pretty good length. So for example, if you have your power socket far away from your bed or your desk, then you have plenty of cable to go along with it. But you do need to provide your own wall block. They do have a 65-watt charging block on their website from Zeera. However, you can also get another one. It's the 35-watt USAMS charger, And what that does is it's pretty cool because it has this small body, and with the small body of the plug, it's GaN, of course, so it doesn't take up that much space. But I've never seen this in any other charging block. You have the charging block that plugs into the wall, but then you have the cable that's inside of a wheel that's rolled up, and you can take out as much cable as you need, and that magnetically attaches to the wall block itself. But there's an additional feature. You have a USB-C port on the bottom for an additional device to charge within that 35 watts. So think about this. You can charge 2 devices with that one block, and you only need to provide 1 cable. So instead of providing 2 cables, you have the one that's reeled up into the roll, and then you have one that you provide yourself, and you have full 35 watts of power. They also do sell an attachment power bank for this wall plug, which attaches to the reeled up USB-C cable, which you can use, magnetically as well. And it's pretty cool how they did this type of block, because you have like little pins that kind of reminds me of like the MagSafe technology on MacBooks with the pins, and they magnetically attach the same way the reel with the USB-C cable attaches to the actual power block itself. So it's pretty cool to see that they've incorporated this inside this small little gadget that you can take with you, and it folds up with the prongs going down when it's not in use. So it's pretty cool that they have this combination, and this is what I'm currently using my VOXN charger with, this 35 watt plug, and I have no issues whatsoever. Just make sure you have the right wattage for the charging station. But that's about it. You have the VOXN wireless charging station, and then you also have the USAMS charging block. And I really hope you liked this video. Give me a thumbs up if you did. Let me know if you have any additional questions I could answer in the comments below, and I'll make sure I get to those. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Zeera Tech is out.